Hello everyone. I know I've not done a sit down video for quite a while now. I'm actually, while I'm doing these videos, I'm actually doing a video to update you on why the upload schedule last year was extremely off. And I have a very good reason, I promise. But I'm going to try my best to keep to an upload schedule, even if it's 2 or 3 videos a month. But again, I'll go through that. The reasons behind my shitty upload schedule last year. It'll probably be the video after this, but it'll be the last one I record, because I'm doing these in a specific order. Now, over the last couple of months, a lot of things have gone on the internet. A lot. And there's 2 main things I want to address, the one in this video and the one in my next video, which is actually the one you'll see before this. You'll see that first. If you hear any noise in the background, his husband is downstairs. He's just doing stuff in the kitchen. And the first topic is probably the lightest of the 3. But it's still pretty heavy. In the mukbang community, you've had a huge drama. Shut up. And it's not exactly just a drama, if you will. It's actually potentially criminal. And those that don't listen to mukbang community, don't pay attention to the mukbang community, I don't blame you. I think I have spoken about Nikocado before. He is a former vegan YouTuber that now does mukbangs on his channel. And one of the things he likes to do is he likes to get involved in certain situations. Now, about 18 months ago, he got himself into a situation, because I'm actually going to call him out on his hypocrisy towards the end. But he got involved in a situation about 18 months ago involving another mukbang community member by the name of Veronica Wank, her and another one, which was another mukbanger, which was Sasa ASMR, falsely striked a channel called Shutbang, did false DMCs and got the channel shut down. Now, he called them out on this and, you know, was very nasty towards them. And one of Veronica's friends, sort of, they've done a couple of collaborations together, which was Stephanie Sue. Now, she was based in LA. And she generally kept herself to herself. She would collab now and then, but not with any extreme regularity. And the video that Shutbang sort of changed and was, you know, doing a comedy skit was a video that Veronica did with Stephanie. And Nick always thought that Stephanie had an involvement, but Stephanie says she didn't. That she wasn't involved, that she did try and get Veronica, from what I understand, she did try and get Veronica to do the right thing, and Veronica was the one that involved Stephanie anyway, because she was the one that said, oh, Stephanie said I should do this, and it's like, Stephanie's not expressively said this is what happened. It's just been speculated that Stephanie tried to get Veronica to do the right thing, but that's by the by. Now, Nikocado was collaborating with some of the same people Stephanie was, and Stephanie had also got in touch with Nikocado and Zach about doing a documentary, like Shane Dawson type documentary on the drama with Veronica and Shutbang, But she was going to do it in the same way that Shane does, where it's like, this is the facts, this is what happened, this is what Veronica was thinking, this is what Sass was thinking, this is what this person was thinking, this is what this person was thinking. And she didn't need Nick to be involved, but she asked him, was okay to say the same as Zach. And then, over like the last 6 months, Zach, Nick and Stephanie got closer. There was quite a few collaborations between Stephanie and Zach. Zach is involved in the story, which is Zach Troy ASMR. And there's a lot of Stephanie, Nick's made Stephanie think that she could trust him, that she could talk to him about stuff, and a large variety of things. And she did sort of open up to him about the whole Veronica Wang situation, and in, you know, text messages, phone calls and things like that. But when they did a sit-down collab for the first time, just before, Nick had turned around to Stephanie and said, we're going to address the situation with Veronica and we're going to spill all the tea. And when he said that, Stephanie became frightened, because she'd agreed to talk about the situation with Shutbang and the fact that they knew that they sort of communicated with each other with regards to Shutbang. And she thought that the conversations that she'd had with him with regards to Veronica Wang were private, but he kept trying to bring it out of her. They filmed a collab where he was interrogating her, trying to get her to say things about Veronica, and, you know, things like, oh, have you changed your mind now? Do you not want to talk about her? And a lot of this collab was released, but the vast majority of him saying, why didn't you do that? What about this with regards to Veronica, was taken out. He did leave in, is there anything you want to talk about, or have you changed your mind? He left that in, and he was very standoffish with her. He was very abrupt with her. Even in the video that the one that he did release, he was a bit he had even told Zach that he wasn't going to bring up Veronica, but he did. Now, after that collab, Stephanie went home. She had a huge panic attack. She had a huge not breakdown, but she was panicking. She was hyperventilating. She couldn't sleep. Eventually she did get to sleep, and as a result she missed the next collab that they were going to do, and they were set to do one the next morning and the next evening. When she did wake up, she texted them both and said, look, in a group text, and said, look, I'm not feeling great, I didn't get much sleep last night, I was in and out to sleep all night, I have a lot of sponsorships due, etc., so on and so forth. I'm not going to be able to make the collab today. And he went off on her. But before she said that to him, after she said that to him, but before she said he'd asked her about a rescheduling, he'd already told Zach he was going to expose her. Now, you see, the thing is, Stephanie decided, right, fuck you, I'm going to expose you. So she shared the backwards and forwards of text messages that were in the group text that she sent to them, saying, look, this is how I feel. And she even said to him at that point, look, when you started going on about Veronica, it made me feel very uncomfortable, I don't feel comfortable, etc., so on and so forth. She felt very, very frightened. She felt like she couldn't say no. Now, a lot of people, when it came to this, have said, well, why did you bring the whole Me Too movement into this? because Stephanie mentioned that she was raped in her own home, and that was one of the reasons why she was so frightened of him. And while I can understand that to a point, he's not a sexual predator. He didn't force himself on her in a sexual manner, but he was trying to impose his will onto her. He wanted her to share what they talked about in private publicly. He wanted her to drag Veronica. He wanted her to say, oh, Veronica did this and Veronica did that and Veronica did this, to spill all the tea. And it's like, she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to talk about Veronica, she didn't want to mention Veronica, she just wanted to have a good collab where they have a laugh like they had on the previous ones during that day. However, he was the one that ruined it by turning around and saying, right, well, the stuff she told me in private, and it's like, you don't bring up private conversations in a video. In her video, she brought up what happened with her and how that made her even more wary of what he was doing. And she also brought up the fact that he'd done a video where he'd slated a date that he had in New York while he was in America. And during this date, they did film the mukbang and they had food. And he thought he was going to get some. Bear in mind, this man's a married man. That he was going to get some with this other guy. And he got pissed when the guy didn't do anything with him. But instead ate his food and left. And he absolutely slated this guy in 2 videos, both of which have been since taken down. And he's like, this little Me Too movement, I didn't want to do this because I didn't want him to turn around and say I'd done this. And it's like, a lot of people say, well, why did she bring that into it? It's like, well, it shows a pattern of behaviour where if he doesn't get his way, he acts and reacts in a specific type of way, which we also saw with the Trish Paytas situation, where she didn't show up for a collab, so he got all pissy, he didn't say anything for a couple of years, but then he did, and he went off on her. Now, when he tried to defend himself, he fucked himself over by sharing text messages between him and Zach without Zach's permission. So then Zach had to release the full conversations and explain his side of things, and Zach and Stephanie have now said, look, we're not going to talk about it anymore on social media in any way, on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. We are just going to leave it with our lawyers. So that's exactly what they've done. They've left it with the lawyers. So he's being sued by both Stephanie and Zach, because in his defense video, he shared a picture that he took in the kitchen, where he was taking a picture of the lighting setup. But the problem was, he had the security feed in the picture, and he didn't play the security feed out. That's an invasion of privacy. Some of the stuff that Stephanie said in the first video, she can back up by security cam, but because California is a 2-party consent for releasing video tape, audio tape of any sort, she needs his permission and he won't give that. However, if they go to court, she can use it in court. So she can actually say, look, this is what he did, this is why I felt unsafe, etc., so on and so forth. And if they don't like that, and hopefully the courts will stand by her. He's essentially had like breakdowns on YouTube, but the problem with Nick is, I'll probably get hit for this, but a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of his breakdowns are fake. Because when he's crying, there's no tears, and when there is, it's like he's off camera. It's very rare you actually see a tear form in his eye and fall down. you'll see him make the motions like he's crying, and then you'll see a cut and then his face will be wet, and it's like, he's dodgy, in my opinion. He's dodgy, he's creepy, he's weird, he's everything in between, and he makes my skin crawl. Now, the reason why I'm going to call out his hypocrisy is with the Veronica Wang thing. He called her out for falsely striking a funny T-Spill drama channel thing, where they take your video, edit it to add comedic effects and things like that, and then upload it, which is acceptable under fair use, under the fair use laws. However, when his friend Trisha did the same thing, he never said a thing. She's pretty much been doing the same thing lately, and he's not said a thing. Nothing. Not a word. Nada. He's not said a damn thing about it. But yet, if Veronica did it again, he'd go after her. So, he's trying to drag this out. He's trying to make it so that he's clickbaiting people saying he's talking about certain things in videos. Bear in mind, these videos are like an hour long, and if he does mention it, it's like for about 10 seconds. There are a couple of channels that have done some excellent coverage on this, and I will link those down below. There's about 3 or 4. And I will link the channels instead of videos down below or up in the iCard, so that you can go through the videos in order. But they break down, they sort of reduce like the hour-long videos down to like 5-10 minutes, and show both sides. And then, but in this instance, I think Nick is definitely in the wrong, because if you are going on about something in a video and somebody is visibly in distress or visibly uncomfortable, you back off. Not according to him though. So Stephanie also got contacted by the person that the video was about, the New York hookup video was about, and said that he felt the same way. And a lot of people have said that when they've collabed with him, they've felt that way, where they can't say no to him because he's volatile, which he is, that you don't know what he's capable of doing, you don't know what's going on in his head, he's not got normal thought patterns sometimes, so that's what's been going on with the mukbang community. Like I say, he is being sued by both Zachary, Troy and Stephanie because of what he's been saying and what he's shown. A lot of other people have been dragged into this that shouldn't have been, but they have, unfortunately. And one thing I will say on this is the people that have been sending like I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but honeybee, and a couple of the other death threats is not on. You don't send somebody death threats. Yeah, they've acted inappropriately, they've done something wrong. I get that. However, you do not send people death threats just because they did something to somebody that you watch. It's not right, it's not normal, it's not the best thing to do in any sense. So, with that being said, I'm going to leave that there. Now that the lawsuits are ongoing, there probably won't be much conversation about this from anybody. because legally they shouldn't be talking about it. But we'll just have to wait and see. If there is any updates on this in the next couple of months, I will let you know. But for now, that's the way the land lies, and it just means it's just a reminder to people to say, look, treat people with respect, treat people with dignity, and don't. If they said they don't want to talk about something on camera, don't bring it up on camera. It's that simple. Common decency. So be safe, have fun, stay out of trouble, and I will see you soon.